Good morning, 6:29. We are on top of breaking news this morning as you wake up. Overnight, a 2-week manhunt for a wanted killer has come to a violent end.
A Lee County deputy shot and killed Billy Rutherford inside the Suncoast Estates community in North Fort Myers. And that's where we find NBC2's Kelly Creswell. She's live, and you've been piecing together all this new information this morning, including the development that links him to another homicide. Right, Kelly?
That's right, Krista. A lot of information coming into us this morning, but the Lee County Sheriff's Office confirms Rutherford is linked to another homicide that happened in the Sable Springs community in North Fort Myers around 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. However, deputies still really not telling us too much more information about that investigation. Now, I did speak with the boyfriend of Deb Striano's mother over the phone this morning. They tell me that they received a phone call from Sheriff Mike Scott at 1:56 this morning telling them that Rutherford had been shot and killed, and the boyfriend tells me that he's happy and he thanked the deputies for all of their hard work and all this, but he says he also feels sorry for the other family now who's suffering a loss because of yesterday's homicide. Sheriff Mike Scott tells me that Lee County deputies shot and killed Rutherford in a violent standoff just after midnight in the Suncoast Estates neighborhood. Now, Rutherford was armed, but the U.S. Marshals Regional Task Force took him down and no one was injured. Now, Rutherford was on the run for 2 weeks after deputies say he played a role in the homicide of 55-year-old Debbie Striano in the Three Oaks Park community. Rutherford's nephew, Dustin J., was caught a week later and is currently sitting in jail charged with Striano's murder. And just last night around 5 o'clock, deputies responded to a murder in the Sable Springs community that Rutherford is linked to. And deputies found Rutherford in the Suncoast community where a violent standoff happened. And Sheriff Mike Scott says there are a lot of hiding places in this area, but he says that Rutherford is not the smartest criminal and left trails of evidence behind.
A lifelong crime spree, that 3 trips to prison didn't cure, that all the probation and parole in the world didn't cure, that nothing ever cured, came to an end tonight. He won't do it again.
And Sheriff Scott tells me that he's proud of the tireless work that all his deputies have done up through this point. And deputies are still working this morning. They're working 2 crime scenes, one here in the Suncoast Estates community and then the other in the Sable Springs community. Reporting live in North Fort Myers this morning, Kelly Creswell, NBC2.
Kelly, I know you said you had a lot of information on this, and we know so much about Rutherford's shooting death tonight and, of course, what led up to that. But we were really surprised to find out about that other homicide off Sable Springs Boulevard there in North Fort Myers. I know the sheriff has said that he's not wanting to give a lot of information on that. Has he given you a time frame? Do they expect to release more information on the person they found dead off Sable Springs Boulevard and why this is related?
Sheriff Scott tells me that they're hoping to release more information a little bit later this morning. He says hopefully we'll find out the identity of the victim who was murdered, but at this time he really didn't want to say too much just because there's so much going on. There's 2 investigations going on here in this North Fort Myers community.
All right, Kelly Creswell live for us right now in Suncoast Estates. When we get that newest information, we'll be sure to pass that along to you. But once again, Billy Rutherford is dead. 6:32. Let's go now to your first alert forecast.
Tracking what's going on in the tropics this morning, we are still tracking Ernesto. Ernesto became a hurricane yesterday, now working its way across the Yucatan Peninsula. It has weakened a little bit back down to tropical storm strength with winds of 70 miles per hour, gusting to 85. The movement westward still pretty quick at 15 miles per hour. It's going to head the rest of the way across the peninsula and then go on out into the Bay of Campeche by tomorrow morning. We could see it strengthen again to become a hurricane as we head through Thursday, and then it will make another landfall in Mexico. For us here in Southwest Florida, it's an item of interest, but it's not going to affect our local weather. We are actually going to be continuing with lots of heat, lots of humidity. This is our satellite and radar imagery. Just a little bit of that fair weather cloud cover, no big problems showing up here. It is the first day of school for kids in Lee County, the second day for kids in Charlotte County, and it looks like no big problems on the way to or from school except for the heat. We're already in the mid-70s right now. It feels like the lower 80s. Temperatures this afternoon are going to be climbing to near record levels. We're looking at the mid-70s at 7 a.m., 92 degrees by the noon hour, and 95 degrees at 5 p.m. Expecting a high of 96, the record 97, so we're pretty close. You'll also notice you don't see any rain icons. The rain chance today, something very isolated as we get toward the evening hours. If you plan on boating, 2 to 3 foot seas, a light chop on the inland waters. We'll take a look ahead to the next 7 days coming up at 6:42.
Haley, thanks. Good morning, everybody. We're taking a live look at I-75 and MLK this morning. Cars getting by nicely, both northbound and southbound. All clear there. All clear on the rest of 75 and 41 this morning. So it should be a great Wednesday, a great first day for all of our Lee County students. We're headed back to school today. Make it a great one, everyone. I'm Nick Soletti with your NBC2 Traffic Alert.
All right, Nick, thank you. Yeah, you just mentioned it, too, happening right now. Yeah, about 83,000 Lee County students will say so long to summer and kick off a new school year.
Well, it's also the year for many district changes, the new start times, new principals, and some new schools. NBC2's Danielle Kleinick is live at Island Coast Elementary School this morning with what those changes mean for your child's first day. Good morning, Danielle.
Good morning, Clay and Krista. It is an exciting day for Lee County students. They're heading back to school, and here at Island Coast High School, cars are really starting to trickle in, and that's because of a new start time, 7:05 this year, and they're getting a new principal as well, Kristen Bueno. Now, 83,000 students will head back to Lee County Public Schools today. 2 new schools this morning, 2 of which are STEM schools, and we wanted to catch up with one STEM school to find out just what makes it so unique.
Desks lined up, computers ready for takeoff. It's the first day of school for Harns Marsh Middle, the first day ever.
It's a unique opportunity for us to provide to the community something different, and we're really excited about it.
These 4 walls will hold a STEAM approach to learning: science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, all based off of a program called Project Lead the Way. Engineering teacher Dana Berry says it's all about getting back to the basics of science.
And bringing that back and empowering our students to actually excel once they leave school.
Learning is marked out through what is called a design process, where students can apply all aspects of STEAM in any discipline they choose to follow. And textbooks, they're a thing of the past at Harns Marsh Middle.
Kids are involved in problem solving, projects, following a design process. The kids actually end up doing the teaching.
It's all hands-on learning. In Mr. Berry's class this year, students' hands will touch the sky as they will design their own airplanes.
They wind tunnel test their airfoil. They go back, they reevaluate, they see what they can do to improve that.
A type of learning that this mom says is crucial for her son's future.
We're going to be a technology world, so the more earlier he's introduced to that, the better he'll be.
And to hope that today will be the start of something great.
And Harns Marsh Middle School students will get to sleep in a little bit more today. They're starting after 9 o'clock. Clay, Krista.
Danielle, thank you. Very exciting day. And you know, Danielle, we have been celebrating the first day of school for Lee County with a lot of our pictures from our school days back when we were small.
Yeah, it was small. And now we're going to look at Danielle. There she is. She looks so cute. She looks like a little New York socialite there with your little white coat. Very cute, Danielle.
What year was that?
I don't know what my parents were thinking. That was my first grade year, so that would have been 94. So I was a little thing then.
94, very cute. I was in my 3rd year of college at that
let's
time.
not talk about
Nice, all right. Thank you, Danielle.
Thanks for making us feel old, Danielle.
Good luck to all the students. Now here's another back-to-school shot from a crucial part of our morning team.
Adorable.
Who is this? This is NBC2 anchor Stacy Deffenbaugh.
And now let's look at her today.
Yeah, hi Stacy.
Hi guys.
She's in the newsroom live right
That's
there.
right.
Very cute.
94, I was also in college, so I'm there with
Good,
you.
thank you, Stacy. That makes us feel
Atkinson
better.
Elementary, that picture, the pride of Fremont, Ohio there. I always love the first day of school. And I know, I wasn't talking politics, which I know we're going to get to now. I wasn't thinking that in kindergarten, right?
That's right. You probably weren't at all, because I wasn't either.
Being social, I
but
think.
yeah, but hey, but tell us about this. A lot of political punches are being thrown right now, right, Stacy?
That's right, guys. The road to the White House taking Mitt Romney to Iowa and New Jersey today. The president heading to Colorado. Both sides launching new attack ads as well this morning, and some new numbers are out. Romney, in fact, posting the lowest personal popularity rating for a presumptive presidential nominee. And according to a new ABC News Washington Post poll, the president's popularity the lowest it's been among registered voters. The economy this morning remaining a key issue of this election. President Obama saying Romney's tax plan taking from the poor and giving to the rich. Romney, though, firing back last night, saying the president is simply out of ideas. Now, the GOP convention less than 3 weeks away, and we're hearing a VOP announcement is expected anytime. Many political pundits thinking it could happen this weekend or early next week once the Olympic Games are wrapped up. Romney, by the way, starting a bus tour next week in swing states like Ohio and right here in Florida. I'm live in the newsroom. Stacey Deffenbaugh, NBC2.
All right, Stacy, thank you. We continue to follow breaking news. A 2-week manhunt is over. Billy Rutherford, the second person wanted for killing a Lee County woman, has been shot and killed by a deputy. We'll have much more of this developing story. Stay with us.